Now, I want you to imagine a time when cars were still steam powered, the telephone nor the incandescent light bulbs were yet to be invented, and imperialism and colonialism was the most common political system. This was 150 years ago, the 1870s. But you know what you could still find back then? Denim jeans. It's unbelievable how long these have been around, and today I'm going to tell you how these became a staple piece in our closets. Origins of denim. Now, to understand the history of jeans, you have to first explore the origins of the fabric they were made from, denim. Denim's roots trace back to the 17th century in northern Italy, where blue fabric was used to make clothes for local workers. This fabric was primarily exported from the Italian port of Genoa and eventually reached Nimes, a town in southern France renowned for its various fabric and ribbons. In France, this fabric was called bleu de jeans, meaning blue of Genoa, which later evolved into the term blue jeans. The weavers in Nimes reinterpreted the fabric, making it sturdier. This improved version was called serge de Nimes, which means fabric from Nimes. Over the time, the term was shortened to de Nimes, giving the rise to the modern word denim. One of the oldest known denim jacket even seems to date back to 1805 through 1810. It is believed that European workers, farmers, factory workers, and others wore denim or similarly rugged blue cotton garments for centuries. Spread of denim to the US. As European workers immigrated to the United States, denim followed them. During the California Gold Rush from 1848 to 1855, denim became popular due to the demand for durable clothing. This marked the beginning of Levi Strauss's legendary journey. Beginning of Levi's jeans. Levi Strauss, a German immigrant, moved to San Francisco in 1853 when he was only 24 years old. Late for the competition, he opened a store selling dry goods to miners and laborers instead of mining for gold. At first, he focused on selling tents, but soon he noticed high demand for durable pants and began producing trousers using tent fabric. Initially, he made pants in both blue and brown canvas, but focused on blue fabric due to its ability to hide dirt better. Some people say that blue dye was used because it was cheaper and manufactured as well. In the 1860s, Levi switched fabrics from canvas to denim, and in 1872, he partnered with Jacob Davis, one of his customers who bought fabrics from him. Now, Jacob was a tailor from Nevada who made workwear for farmers, cowboys, miners, lumberjacks, and other laborers. He had the idea of using rivets, originally used from making horse blankets, to reinforce stress points on pants. Well, he had the idea, he didn't have the money to file a patent, so he proposed to partner with Levi. Now, on the May 20th of 1873, they patented their riveted denim jeans. They labeled their jeans 501 after the number on the fabric storage box. Until 1890s, when their patent expired, they manufactured riveted jeans exclusively from Levi's. One important point to address here is that Levi was not the first company to produce jeans in the United States. As mentioned earlier, the earliest denim clothing originated from Europe and it was brought to the eastern United States by immigrants. Consequently, several companies producing denim garments emerged in the eastern US and other regions, with some even established before Levi's. However, due to the limited logistics system of the time, these businesses were often restricted to their local areas. One example of them would be Sweet Orr & Co., founded in New York in 1871. Records show that by the 1920s, most workers in New York wore this brand. Along with Levi's, other denim companies often use marketing illustrations of jeans being pulled from both sides to emphasize their durability. The objects pulling the jeans varied, including people doing a tug of war, or trains, bulldogs, and horses, as in Levi's case. In fact, historical record shows that Sweet R& Co. used these marketing illustrations even before Levi's, as evidenced by the company's earlier founding date. Until the late 1800s, Levi's and its competitors were relatively evenly matched in the terms of market presence. However, by the early 1900s, Levi's began to pull ahead. The company figured out how to expand its supply chain beyond specific regions, allowing it to grow significantly. Additionally, when Levi's patent expired in 1890s, the other brands like Abercrombie, American Eagle, Nautica Jeans, and Lucky Brand started producing riveted jeans with their own unique silhouette and designs. Around this time, other major American denim brands were also established, including Lee and Wrangler, often referred to as two of the big three alongside Levi's. Lee was founded in 1910 in the Midwest, while Wrangler was established under the name Bluebell in 1904 in Northern Carolina. Starting in 1915, Levi's entered a partnership with Cone Mills White Oak in North Carolina to source salvage denim. This partnership lasted an impressive 102 years until recently in 2017 when Cone Mills closed its White Oak plant. Now they still manufacture the fabric but not in the White Oak plant itself. So moving on, in 1927, Levi's began incorporating a red thread along the selvage edge, which became a distinctive feature of Levi's selvage denim. At the time, denim fabric was not pre-shrunk, meaning it would shrink significantly when exposed to water. Levi's embraced this characteristic, branding it as shrink to fit, which is a slogan they use even to this day. The idea was that customers would soak the jeans in water to reduce shrinkage and then wear them as they gradually conform to the wearer's unique body shape, creating a personalized fit. Hollywood's influence in 1930s to 1950s. During the 1930s, as the American West underwent suburbanization, nostalgia for the rugged and untamed Wild West era of the gold rush began to emerge. This sentiment fueled the popularity of Western films in Hollywood, featuring cowboys as central characters. In these films, the lead actors often wore jeans, which played a significant role in shifting denim's image from purely workwear to a staple of fashion and everyday clothing. Starting in 1934, the first women's overall were introduced, further expanding denim's appeal. Hollywood stars like Greta Garbo, Katharine Hepburn, and Marlene Dietrich, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but they popularized dungarees, also known as denim overalls, by wearing them on and off screen, solidifying their status as fashion icons. One anecdote that highlights the shrink to fit culture of the time involves John Wayne, a prominent actor in westerns. According to an interview with his son, whenever Wayne was cast in a new western, he would take his family on trips to Catalina Islands near Los Angeles. There, he would purchase a pair of shrink-to-fit jeans, fill the pocket with stones, and submerge them in water off the island's pier. After letting them shrink, he would retrieve the jeans and wear them in his films, ensuring a perfect fit for his rugged cowboy roles. With the suburbanization of the West, farmers and ranchers began to diversify their income by turning their properties into tourist ranches, also known as dude ranches. These destinations became popular with the wealthy elite from the East Coast who sought leisure experiences from the frontier. Visitors to these ranches often noticed jeans worn by ranch hands, and laborers. Intrigued, they purchased jeans as souvenirs, which helped to spread denim's popularity to the eastern US. As a result, denim clothing became increasingly common among the middle class during the 1920s through 1930s. 1940s, the impact of World War II. By the 1940s, jeans had gained new symbolic significance beyond workwear and fashion. In 1939, John Steinbeck's novel Grapes of Wrath romanticized the working class, highlighting their struggles and resilience. During World War II, denim became a symbol of independence, equality, and patriotism, often featured in wartime propaganda. Jeans were worn by factory workers, including women participating in the war effort, symbolizing their contributions to the fight for freedom and their role in reshaping social norms. During World War II, many American women wore denim clothing as they stepped into roles traditionally held by men, working in munitions factories and other industries while men were away at war. This phenomenon became known as Rosie the Riveter movement, symbolizing women's contributions to the war effort. Through this experience, women grew increasingly comfortable wearing practical denim items like chore coats, jeans, and overalls, not only at work but also in their daily lives. A 1940s Life magazine article even noted that younger women were borrowing and wearing their boyfriend's jeans, highlighting the growing acceptance of denim as casual, everyday wear for women. World War II significantly impacted the production and design of jeans. As the United States joined the war, materials like metal and other raw resources were prioritized for military use, leading to manufacturers' restrictions across industries, including denim. Jeans underwent several modifications during this period. Clinches, the adjustable straps at the back of the waistband, which were common in the 1930s, were prohibited to fabrics and metals. The number of materials used for rivets were restricted. Decorative stitching, such as Levi signatures, arch detail on the back pockets, were replaced with printed designs to conserve the thread. After the war, many of these features, such as rivets and embroidered pocket arches, were reinstalled. However, the clinch detail never made a comeback. Additionally, Levi's, which had primarily been sold in the American West before the war, expanded its reach during the conflict. The brand's presence grew in Europe and the Pacific regions through U.S. military personnel, paving the way for Levi's to establish a global market after the war ended. 1950s, the influence of Hollywood. The 1950s marked the era when jeans truly became a staple for everyday fashion. One of the biggest drivers of this shift was Hollywood. Movies like Marlon Brando's The Wild One and James Dean's Rebel Without a Cause, alongside Elvis Presley's rebellious image, played a significant role in popularizing jeans as a symbol of defiance and youth. For women, Marilyn Monroe wore jeans in films and public appearances, adding a touch of sensuality to denim, further increasing its appeal. Thanks to these Hollywood icons, jeans became a key part of the wardrobe for American teenagers in the 1950s. However, the rebellious image associated with jeans caused concern among parents and schools, leading to a pushback. In response, the Denim Council, a marketing organization supported by denim manufacturers, helped elevate these fears by promoting jeans as a wholesome and practical clothing choice. Economic boom of the rise of teen culture. Another factor in the rise of jeans was the post-war economic boom. Before the World War II, the concept of a teenager didn't really exist. Young people typically finished school and immediately started working to support their families. However, after the war, economic prosperity allowed families to enjoy a more comfortable lifestyle. Teenagers now had a disposable income to spend on hobbies, music, and fashion, including jeans. Social activities like sock hops or dance parties became popular, and owning a car or buying new clothes, including denim, became a symbol of independence. Teenagers in 1950s who grew up watching Western films were already familiar with jeans as part of the cowboy aesthetic. However, they sought to differentiate the rebellious fashion statement from the workwear their fathers wore. As a result, they began referring to their pants as jeans rather than the more traditional term, waist overalls, which had been commonly used up until then. While the word jeans did exist before this period, it wasn't widely adopted until the 1960s, when even Levi's officially embraced it in their branding. On a related note, during the 1950s, Levi's introduced a zipper fly option alongside the traditional button fly. This change was to appeal to East Coast customers who were more accustomed to zippers. Lee, another major denim brand, had already implemented zipper closures earlier.